Previewing the postseason for the North Fayette Valley girls basketball team with head coach Jim Calkins. And coach, I know the postseason is now your focus as you get ready for the first round tomorrow, but you do have to look back and appreciate an Upper Iowa Conference championship. I believe it's the first time as North Fayette Valley that you won one, and you went through the league undefeated. And these are teams that are familiar with you, that they're kids that are familiar with one another. Going through a 15-game league sketch without a loss, that's something to appreciate, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. And we appreciate that. Thank you. It's something the girls really put down as a major goal, and they've worked hard to accomplish that. Like you mentioned, it's never easy to win at the MFLs and Keys and Turkey Valleys of the world. Elkader, but we were fortunate with our depth. And we played awfully well along many Tuesday and Friday nights. And then we were able to celebrate that a little bit after Monday's victory at MFL.
And you ended up adding a game last night against WaverlyShell, a top 10 team in Class 4A, also the Northeast Iowa Conference champions. What did you learn about yourselves facing a really quality opponent like that?
Man, I tell you, what a great opportunity, and we are very appreciative of WaverlyShell Rock coming over. I'll tell you, I thought the girls maybe were a little tentative at the beginning, but as the game progressed, we really were more aggressive attacking the basket. We just missed some easy chippies. We went through that tape and kind of discussion last night afterwards, and there were some really good opportunities. And if you want to compete or challenge a team like WaverlyShell Rock, you gotta finish those. You got to withstand some of the runs they're going to put on. Draper's such a nice player offensively. People forget she's also 6'2" and very long defensively. So, we haven't seen that since probably Goodman of the past few years. So we haven't seen that this year. So that was a good challenge there. Always good to face good, intense man-to-man pressure in preparation for tournaments, that physicality of that. So, again, I thought, it's tough to simulate those type of things, and it was great to get that opportunity last night.
And you talk about the depth of your team, looking at your statistical scoring averages. At least 5 players this year averaged at least 8 points a game. Is that kind of privy to what you touched on, knowing the fact that there's a lot of girls on your team that can do a lot of good things?
Yeah, that's a good point. We've been fortunate to have players like, Abby Reister and Emma Nye that have played, for the last 4 years. Abby getting her 1,000th point last night. But I liked your point about just kind of on any given night, you can have someone, get 10, 12, 15 points. It's tough for a defense to kind of, I got to pinpoint this girl or that girl. When we've been really fortunate, like Alyssa the other night against MFL, 15 points. Kenlin against, I believe, Key had 18, 20 points. Reagan Griffin last night had, it's nice to have that comfort, that flexibility. And even Justine or Zeta off the bench can put 6 to 8. Brooklyn had 6 against Key up there before. So, yes, we're fortunate. It's a great luxury. We're also fortunate in practice to have that competitive nature and make it more game-like. So the girls are getting a good sense, a good run there.
And taking care of the basketball, obviously important to any team. 15 turnovers a game, maybe a touch higher than you want it, but still, that's pretty good total for high school basketball. You agree?
Yeah, I like how you worded it. You were kind, but you were also against the better teams, that top-notch competition. It's something we've got to clean up. When we've had the games that we're trying to push it, yes, you can kind of understand, hey, you're scoring 60, 65 points. You're going to have some turnovers because we're playing some helter-skelter or chaotic with the press. But, against some of these other teams, scores in the 40s, scores in the lower 50s. You gotta be around that 10, turnover mark or lower would be great.
And you open up the postseason tomorrow afternoon. You take on Independence. What have you figured out? What challenges do the Mustangs present?
Well, I'll tell you, I know Coach DeBerg. We faced off when we were both coaching boys down there he was at Adel and I was at Creston. So funny how 15, 20 years later, you're back coaching girls basketball up here in Northeast Iowa. They're playing in the WAMAC. We know that their physicality, they're going to be used to some really good competition down there. It's got some young girls, got some sophomores and freshmen that are playing, against juniors and seniors in that league. It's never easy. And we've been there going through that process, but we know they're going to play hard. They're probably going to look to try to take us and get aggressive on the glass, try to get some second, third chance opportunities, maybe get us in foul trouble or get to the line. I'm sure they're focusing about taking care of the ball, kind of the point we just mentioned. We've got to really take care about us. What we noticed last night when we turned the ball over against Waverly, or we weren't able to score, they were able to get some nice transition. So we need to get some easy buckets and get our press set up, or at least get that transition defense set instead of scrambling back.
At least on paper, you guys are the favorites going into tomorrow afternoon's game. In a postseason setting, and I guess it's probably the case in any game, how key is the start to a game? Because a team that has the record that Independence has, the longer you let them stick around, the more confident they're going to be. How key is it to get off to a good start in the postseason?
It's a great point. And as seasoned as Coach DeBerg is, I'm sure he's telling the girls the same thing. Take care of the ball. Don't be afraid to take 30 to 45 seconds off the clock. The longer it goes, NFB may be pressing, may be uncomfortable. So very true. That start is essential. And I think the nice thing that we have with 3 seniors starting, 2 other juniors that have been 2 and 3 year starters, another junior and sophomore, our first couple people off the bench. You're hopeful that, hey, when you have a lull, let's get to the free throw line. Let's, drive to the basket, get somebody an easy bucket, things like that. And you also have timeouts that you might have to take and just kind of, hey, it's win or go home type of time now. You can't afford, some of these type of lulls or lapses. So I thought Coach Tillers made a good point. Just got to kind of narrow the focus and respect everybody, because everybody's 0-0.
All right, Coach. It's been a great season to this point. Hopefully you can make it even greater here in the postseason. We wish you best of luck starting tomorrow afternoon, and stay warm.
Hey, Darren, we really appreciate, the coverage this year, the recognition, and I've enjoyed visiting with you. Good questions as always. And, we are anxious about this postseason run too. We'd love to play some of our best basketball.
Jim Calkins, head coach of the North Fayette Valley girls.